Hey, Blade fans, welcome back. OG Blade Reviews. Got a big box on the table today. Bet you can't guess what's inside. Well, you may have seen the thumbnail. Okay, it's a big box though. Why is it so big? Well, there's something sort of dimensionally large inside. This doesn't tell you too much, but it is called the Medusa. Like is it Greek uh, woman with the snakes in her hair, Medusa, and looking at you, she could turn you to stone. You probably ran into people that could turn you to stone. Got to do the old shake here because, oh, there we go. We've actually got some grooves on the side. Since when is unboxing so difficult? Well, I guess it is for me today. But yeah, that's why we've got a wide box and a long box, because we've got a big old push dagger in here called the Medusa, designed by Muzi, M-U-Z-I Designs. He's done those Pikal knives and a few karambits and some really wild sort of stuff for Kubey. And this is kind of wild too. It is a push dagger, so you may not be interested because you may think push daggers are useless or silly or what have you. Near as we can tell, they go back to like the days of the riverboat gamblers. At least that's the kind of the general thinking, that they were a hideaway, grab it and punch kind of a blade. And there you have a grab it and punch sort of a blade. They used a PEI, probably a generic PEI, which the brand name is also known as Ultim. It's that clear, could be acrylic, but it could be PEI as well. If it's PEI, it's dimensionally very stable. It's heat resistant. It's crack resistant. It's pretty good stuff. Tougher than it looks. Kind of looks like amber. But there's the blade. Kind of nicely done if you want both a push dagger and a utility blade. They set it up interestingly with a thumb ramp here and some nice jimping. But like one other reviewer in looking at this set, he couldn't figure out quite how they want you to hold it. I guess like that, but that's jabbing into your hand pretty good. I mean, you could come around side like that, I suppose, and cut with it. But yeah, I mean, there could be some utility use to it. It's a long blade. We're going to measure it all up in a minute. Skeletonized, as you can see on the inside, because we've got a clear Ultim handle that allows us to do that. So we know there's some weight relieving. We've got torque screws on each side. They look to be T8. That may or may not be important to you. And it looks like that's also a T8. Interesting that they put a screw down here too, because what could happen is that this stuff could, in the long term, maybe warp out a little bit away from this, so that you don't catch anything underneath. That's kind of good that they did put a third screw there on that side. How does it hold? Well, there's a bunch of holds you could consider for this, and I'm going to compare it to some straight up old push daggers I've got over on the side here a little bit later. Depends upon whether you're going to hold the push dagger between the first finger and the middle finger, all right, or whether you choose to hold it between the third finger, the ring finger, and the middle finger, all right. Either way, you can do it here. Why they've got this notched out here, I really don't know. I mean, maybe you can pinch it like this. I tried turning it upside down, and these two finger grooves here fit pretty well in that position. But you can see that it's a little, if I hold my wrist straight, it's just a little off from straight. No big deal. I mean, there's Wing Chun punches where you kind of use the bottom two knuckles, so whatever. The blade steel is 14C28N, in case you were wondering. And I will run that up on the screen along with the specs once we get into the measuring portion. We've got a frag pattern on the handle here. Makes it pretty grippy, and you get an interesting tactile sense. It's actually good. But, they built this up to be kind of a ramp. So, yeah, I mean, you can hold it that way with the thumb on top. Once you get here, no longer comfortable to really put your whole thumb on top. You just put your thumb on top of your own index finger there. Anyway, it's a bit odd for a push dagger handle. I mean, they got cutouts going all over the place here. I mean, could you hold it this way and do some fine work, or this way? I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It looks cool, but ergonomically, you're just going to settle into either this, right? Or you're going to settle into that, right? This is pretty useless. To be able to hold that in such a way that you can put your thumb on top. I just don't really. All right, it's supposed to be kind of space age wild, but we'll leave it at that. But will it function as a standard punch the bad guy push dagger? Yeah, and it's got a long blade for a push dagger, because I'll show you the others that I spoke about. If we go, depending upon what you consider the blade, let's measure the actual sharpened portion. It's about 3 inches. Okay. If we do all of the steel up to the handle, it's 3 3/4. And if we go to the handle, it's 6 1/4. Across here, it is about 3 1/2. So if I get my caliper out here and we do that in millimeters, might be able to get that for you. So let's go all the way out to here. How are we going to do this? Like that. The blade in, man, how am I even going to do this? It's nuts when you try to start. I don't have a tape with millimeters on it. So, I mean, obviously you can convert. Good old Google will do that for you. All right, if I slide this up here, all right, we get 77.5 millimeters of blade edge, and almost 154 millimeters from the point to the end, about 100, roughly 160. If you can't convert, get out of here. What can I tell you? Let's do the thicknesses. They're a little easier to do and handle. Millimeters, 4.1 millimeter blade stock. That's pretty thick, which is 0.15. And thickness of the handle, 0.46. And in millimeters, 11.9. Okay. And if I don't put all that up on the screen, forgive me, but if it's super important to you, send me a comment, and I'll see if I can get it for you and put it in the reply. Grams, that we can do easily. 119.79 grams, or 4.223 ounces. Okay. The sheath, relatively inconsequential. It does have a tech lock. You may or may not want to use a tech lock. Obviously, if you've gotten a lot of knives with Kydex sheaths and you got tech locks on them, you know that you can take that sucker off and take those 2 Chicago screws out there, and you can put a belt loop on, stuff it in your pocket, hang it from your neck, whatever you'd like to do. But I will say that it's a thick Kydex, and I got it in the wrong way. You got to look carefully to see which way it goes in. That much I will say as well. But the retention is nice. It's pretty firm, and you get that nice click. Can you push it off? Yeah, sort of. See, this gets in the way. You can come around the side here. I think you're going to be best off just making sure that sheath is secured and pop it out like that. Enough said. Again, push daggers are a peculiar animal. You may totally detest the idea, but really they're meant to be that get off me kind of knife that you can get at quickly. Now, price on these are pretty low. Anything coming through on the Kubey line tends to be pretty low priced. Let's see if I can pull these up here. Medusa, looking at White Mountain, that's where I got this. No one gave this to me. I paid for it. There it is at White Mountain, 64 bucks. Use my discount code, 10% off, OG Blade, singular, and you can bring that down significantly. Hey, prices are going to go up with these crazy tariffs. Import taxes really is what they are. And yeah, we pay for it. Add it on to my cost. Here is a Bastinelli. This he made two, a real small one, smaller than this. Guilty and Innocent. And Innocent was smaller. This is the Guilty. And this ain't cheap. This is 300 bucks. But it's USA made. And it is made, as you can see here, by Tactile in Texas. Nicely done out of M390. Much lighter and smaller. But there you can see your more traditional push dagger handle. All right. Where it's set up so you put one finger on top and two fingers underneath, and it's rounded and it fits into the palm. And that makes a little more sense to me than this stuff, which is just kind of, like I said, space age wild, sculpted stuff just for the visual. You can probably, if you get this, figure out how you want to hold it, but you saw what I was doing, and I prefer just to hold it this way. But M390 and Bastinelli, and yes, you're going to pay money. And I think this is like that paper-based micarta. Forget the name of it, but I'll probably think of it after I'm all done. Comes with a neat little sheath. Let's leave it out for compare. And fits nicely right in the recess there. Here's another Bastinelli that's about 100 bucks. Cheaper. I think this might be USA made as well. Not sure. But that's the Gambler. And I like the Gambler as push daggers go. This isn't really, because it's not a T-handle, and it may slide past your local law scrutiny because it's really just a fixed blade knife, okay? But you hold it like a pistol, all right? And you get the same effect. And if you wanted to, you could hold it between the first and second fingers. Very straight, very piercing. And as far as the length goes, it's right up there with the Medusa. And just for Yahas, here is something that is a Ostap Hell design for Bestech. And this is the Strelet. That's only, at the time I got it, about a $60 or so knife. 14C also. By the way, this is VG10, as you can see. All kind of in the same ballpark. They're all based on 440. People don't realize that. You know, they like one steel over another. Many of the stainless steels start out with a mixture of 440, and they just add some elements and remove some, what have you. I'm not a metallurgist, so I'm not going to wax poetic on that. But this one's really cool in that it locks right in. It is a Raptor style claw, but you can punch straight with it as well, and it's still going to pierce. Or you can rake with it, and it is just wickedly sharp and carries very small. You know, I had some people that I used this as an example on other reviews, and they, that's junk, that's no good, so on and so forth. Hey, if you've got only got your hands and your fists, right? You can palm heal, right? Very difficult to get that out between those two fingers once that's in there. Probably holds more securely than any of these. Anyway, that is the tiny little Bestech Strelet by Oh Stop Hell. So Muzi design here. Don't have the other Muzi designs handy, but I did review a bunch of them. Like I said, he's got that ringed Pikal knife and so forth. And I would say of everything on the table here, if you wanted a full-size push-style dagger, look at this Gambler by Bastinelli. It is a very cool design. He uses his higher-end sheath on it as well. Got this directly from Bastinelli. Comes with an ulti clip. All right, well, I don't want to push that too much because really we're talking about the Medusa here. Let's see if the Medusa's got an edge. Maybe it'll turn the paper to stone. Very piercing. And yeah. So, you know, like I was saying, you could EDC this guy. Sort of. I guess if you decided you wanted to hold it this way and it would poke you a little bit, or just hold it like this and cut with it, open your boxes with it, what have you. I got it because I thought it was interesting. And I'm going to zoom in for our parting shot here. Right about now, you're going to see my logo over here. Click that logo, and you'll be directed to a place where you can subscribe to my channel and be notified every time there's a new video dropping. You guys be safe, be well, take care, and watch out for Medusa.